Well, doing. If you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. Two board games because I bought a whole pile of them. We got a Monopoly. Let's go through that super quick. I need parts. And then we got a vintage game I've never run into. So we're going to determine if I'm selling it as a complete game or just parts. I try to keep my full game inventory low, but I just sold one and then this popped up. I'm going to go over why I bought it, but just dig into Monopoly first. All right, so this is a modern Monopoly, so you can tell because the board is more narrow, or the box rather is narrow because the board is narrow. And you can tell by the Hasbro sign being present and that logo. It's like their newer school logo. This is what year? 2004. We call that modern because most of the monopolies produced were like the 90 or the 85 is the most common, and that's still in circulation. You will find it in every thrift store in perpetuity. But I only grab them if they're on sale. If I don't want to spend more than $3, I'm taking a risk buying them, and I know that they pay for themselves at that point. I'm going to go through it real quick because I do monopolies all the time. This I will not sell as a board game, so let's look at it real quick. That's the Monopoly board. It's the Monopoly board it's always been, except this one folds into a different set. Whoops, pardon my mic. This one folds into fours versus the traditional. And then we got money, and that's what we're all about. The Monopoly money. I ran out lately, which has not happened in quite a long time. I've been bringing in a lot of these, and I was selling like 3 stacks of Monopoly money a week. And then I went and packed one up, like, oh crap. We gotta get on this. So we added a few yesterday. We're gonna add a few today. So the only difference in the money, some years have Monopoly, some years have nothing, some years have Monopoly and then the year. So I break it up into 3. I break it up into vintage, which has nothing. I break it up into just Monopoly money, which is this one. And then there's modern Monopoly, which has a different color scheme. And it's a purple instead of, I think, blue. I forget. I have one next to me, but I'm not going to bother digging it out. Doesn't really matter. But, as I've talked about before, the monopolies themselves, the money has the most value. And then the tokens after that. And then hotels, houses. And then the properties, cards, chance, etc. don't really move. I actually stopped listing them all together. I just toss them at this point because I have so many. I have probably 9 sets at this point. But when you break the game up, it sells a lot quicker, takes up far less space, which space is always a concern with reselling. I'm in a reseller Facebook group, and somebody joined, and they're like, "Hey, I really want to do this, but I want to sell things fast, and I don't have a lot of money, and I don't want to take up any space." I'm like, well, this really isn't for you, because that's not going to work. Some of those things can be true. You can start with 0 money and just sell things you already own. A lot of people get started that way. I mean, I listed a lot of games and stuff I wasn't using anymore when I got started. You don't need a huge amount of money to get going. But the things that don't take up space long term because they sell so fast are going to be things that either cost money or are hard to find. So you're not going to bring anything in. You have to understand that you're putting money into this for a long-term investment. A lot of the stuff that I buy, I sit on for years. I have stuff that I've had for like 4 years. Doesn't matter because I own it outright, and eventually it sells. It'll always go at some point. But you're going to end up having it around. So if you don't like clutter, and I honestly don't like clutter, so you got to have a system. I have a system of bins and shelving, and I let it take up a corner of my gaming room. But even then, I have to manage that space. That's why I talk about, do I take board games in as board games? Rarely. I have to make enough money on it to make it worth my while to package it at the end of the day. I just actually packaged up a board game before I turned on the camera and set that out for the mail lady today. And I've already taken in another one, so I saved no space. But we're going to see. We're going to look at that one a bit and really weigh it out. So, meantime, we got our cash. This all looks good. $1 bills carry stains because they're white and people play games while they're drinking soda and eating pizza, and the white ones get ruined. And the hundreds have the most wear because it's the one you tend to throw around the most with properties and whatnot. So we're not bothering with the cards. We're only bothering with the tokens and hotels and houses for this. I'm missing houses, I think. Looks pretty light. We shall see. Someday I'll invest in a better set. It kind of works out this way. Lighting wise. I tried to soundproof this room back when I did streaming, and my kid's bedroom was on the other side of the wall. I bought all this soundproofing foam and stapled it to the wall, and it did not a thing. I think I bought it off Wish, and it was just not going to do the job. It wasn't worth doing, honestly. Oh, okay, so this is odd. This has the money bag. Didn't think this set came with that. They added an 11th piece. Yeah, so that got thrown into here. That is not actually supposed to be in there. And this happens with Monopolies a lot. People have multiple sets. They wear one out, they buy another one, and they just kind of throw all the pieces in. But anyways, so we got our, we'll put up that, our cash. We get $2 on that. I lowered the price on it to get it to move when I had a lot. Now I'm back down. At some point I might adjust it back up to 8, but for now I'm rocking 7, and it's moving like every day almost. Every other day. We have our 12 hotels, which I figured. This looks like it's not going to be 32 houses. Let's see. Oh, 34 houses. All right. So we got a set of that. And then we have the... Is this a full 11-piece set? It is. Okay. So I have a lot of 11 that includes the money bag, which was only in certain sets. I want to say 99 or 2,000. So hotels, houses. And then the movers, I'm thinking would be 10, maybe a little more, but probably just 10, just to get them out of here because I have a lot of them. All right, so that's just our Monopoly, and this is not the big money maker out of the bunch, so we'll move on to the actual vintage attraction. All right, so this is one I'd never seen before, but it looked old, and it's from 1979, and it's called The Farming Game. So right away, we have our consideration of, do I sell this as the game, or do I sell it as parts? Got it for $3. So what we have to consider is, first I have to store it. Second, it has to be in a condition worth selling. Third, and this one comes up quite a bit in older games, is size. When you go over 20 inches, which this is 24, your shipping goes up exponentially. I don't know why that is the case, but 21 inches, you're going to add like $3. And then it goes from there. It actually starts cranking up by inch in some cases. So, this does not fit on camera, unfortunately. I have no way of doing this. It's hanging like halfway into my lap. The board, the box rather, is not in awesome shape. It has some rips. Got one here. Corners are blown out, and it's badly taped up here. So before I even open this, we're gonna look at what we're dealing with as far as this game. So it is called, as you can see, I sold some horses that I listed the other day. I haven't packed them off yet. I've been packing stuff all day. I wait until I have 2 sales generally to not waste paper. But so The Farming Game, 1979. We have 64 of these for sale, and you can see the reason I grabbed it is price, for one thing. People are asking a lot of money for this game. And that means that the parts market's going to be good too. People that have a good box but are missing whatever this is are willing to buy that piece to complete their game. I didn't really look at the box that much because it was going to happen when it was $3. And you know, as soon as you open it, people are selling it for like $35, $40, $50, that it's going to be worth getting for $3. So we're just looking at box condition and seeing, you know, this one doesn't look great. What we're up against as far as that. If I could sell this for $50, obviously that's the way to go. Even if I don't like having it hanging around. 64 for sale. 77 sold. That is more than 100% sell-through rate. The ones that are sold, we're going to look at the lowest price and the worst condition. So lowest price is looking like 45. This one is all taped up, and that was 45. Like 38. But these are all in better condition than mine. So then it comes down to, actually this one's really messed up. This one's like ripped in half. It went for 50. So I think there's a lot of parts to this too. And the parts are going. So like right here, these farmers, which is, I don't think it's complete. I think it's 6. You know, $13 just for those. These, whatever, tickets. Missing a yellow. So there's value here no matter what. And that's why I wasn't really sweating the box condition. But that's a phenomenal sell-through rate for a board game. So we got to open it in a way that doesn't damage it. And it's taped in really odd spots. Ugh. So, I've talked about this before. This white on the box, for whatever reason, it's not the same material as on the top. The top, you could get the tape off, but this white stuff whatever this coating is rips off from tape. You could even see where it's bubbled, like over time. There's nothing even wrong with it. It's just, it's like a different coating. I don't know why. But it does not do well with untaping. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get this off because they taped over the picture. So I'm going to try. I'll give it my best. But if it ends up ripping the bottom of the box off, that's really going to lead to me not wanting to attempt to sell this as a full game. Because then I'm going to have to be very competitive price-wise. Yeah, I didn't... Yeah, this is ripping bad. Uh-oh. Alright, that lost a bit of box there. We'll try this one. This is the hardest one, I think, because the bubbling goes into the tape. So I think I'm going to end up losing part of the box, kind of no matter what. So when you're doing this, you pull against the tape, not up and away, but completely against. And I'm coming up to the bubble. I only lost a little of the packaging. And then when you get to the edge, you got to be really careful because you kind of always lose some on these older ones. But when you get onto the next piece, kind of go at angles. If you hear tearing, stop and go from another direction. Completely onto the front as well. Okay. So not too bad. I think I only have 2 more pieces. Just to leave our options open. Even the cheapest one sold was, I think, $35. I can see some for... There's one on the screen. On the bottom here. 37. It's missing pieces. Now, it's odd, I've never heard of this game. There's a lot of board games out there, but it's not a major company either. But there must be some kind of nostalgia factor to it. I don't know if this was like maybe something kids played in school back in the day. That would make sense, and it would be before my generation. Last piece of tape here. All right. So let's open this up. So it's actually in worse shape than I thought. All the corners of the box are broken except one. There's the big rip here. This rip is taped, so I'm really leaning towards parts just because I don't want to have it around. Even still, we'll check it out, see what the board looks like. I have no familiarity with this game. Okay. This is really kind of a Monopoly knockoff. So instead of Go, you have Harvest Moon, so you get money. Instead of properties, you have months. And they're color-coded. And then stuff happens every time you land on them. So unlike Monopoly, I guess. Then you have stuff on the corners. There's no jail. That's good. All right. So the board's in alright shape. I don't know if I'd bother selling the board because, again, it's 34-inch board. The shipping on it would be really rough. We got this sheet of paper. I don't know what any of this is. We've got cash. We have whatever this is, like these black squares. So what I'm going to do, once we get all our pieces sorted, we'll start going through the listing and we'll find one that says it's complete and we'll compare and see what we're missing. These stickers? Maybe this is a scoreboard. Okay. Oh, it's like magnetic, I think. Okay. Yeah, it'll stick at any angle. So this must be like a player board. And then we got all the magnetic pieces. Yeah, I'll get this sorted out and then we'll start looking into it. Positively miserable. These were all completely stuck together and I had to peel them apart, place them on these sheets, and this tells you how many you're supposed to have. I have all of these. The money, there's no way of knowing. I have all the tokens. I'm missing one die. These aren't a generic die. They're like a rounded edge, so I can't swap any other die into that. Then there's these like chance community service style cards. I have different numbers of these than other people. The thing is, nobody knows definitively how many are supposed to be in here because it's not in the instructions and it's not on the box. So I don't know. It's not a complete game. So I'm going to list the entire thing just because that makes it easier. Like I said, somebody might have the board and the box and it's in great shape and they're missing a sprinkling of pieces, or they may want to resell the pieces because there is a piece market for this. Absolutely. So now we just got to get an idea of what that's going to look like. So we're going to look at sold. We're just going to pick something that's going to make sense for both parties. I paid $3. This is a rare game. And it's obviously a desirable game. So the money itself, 14. All these pieces, and they're not actually complete, 12. So 14 and 12. 13. So I think what I'm going to do is sell the whole thing for 20. It'll be a good deal for somebody that's trying to get the game complete to sell, and then they can break it up and sell the pieces however they want. But that's plenty of profit for me. So $5 spent, 2 board games picked up. Not a bad ROI at all, honestly. So if you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.